doing, brother?
Champion.
You good?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm good. Been putting in the work. So last I had a tournament, he was in there as well.
Yeah.
So I was in the final with him. Then in the second round, he surprised me with a spinning back fist, right to the chin. I'm like, oh my God, my face was on the canvas. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like wobbling.
I gotta see the film. But the more you fight them, then you get better. They might win 5-0, the next thing you might win 3-0, the next thing you might beat them.
100%.
Don't quit. I know great fighters that get knocked out their first pro fight, and then they beat somebody in their 10th fight, and then they never lost again. Discipline is doing what we hate to do, but doing it like we love it.
Sharpen the blades. Sharpen the blades with the very, very, very best elite of the world. It's next level. It's hard. It's competitive. But we like it. We like it even though it's hard. We gotta dig deep and you gotta keep searching for openings and different strategies because he adjusts every time.
You can't teach what he has in him. It's something that's ingrained in him. He's been like that for his whole life, and that's why you see something special every time you see him fight, every time you see him do an interview. He's just a special person, and he's upon a special show.
Iron Mike just entered the conversation, and he's backing Rico Verhoeven to do something nobody expects. He's predicting total chaos when Rico faces Oleksandr Usyk inside that squared circle. Tyson has been watching Rico work it out, day in, day out from that gym corner, and what he's seeing, it's dangerous, real dangerous. Rico's got weapons that everyone keeps sleeping on. Tools against Usyk that the commentators don't even talk about.
That don't get hit, they avoid punching, they're not afraid to get hit. They get hit, they can take it, but they avoid punching.
What makes Tyson's team special? Mike doesn't just talk, he shows up and does it himself. He leads from the front. And that's what Rico's crew trusts completely. They know how hard Mike pushes in every session. That's exactly what will get Rico ready for Usyk.
24, 25, halfway, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Good work, good work, Mike.
He wants to keep building it up. He wants to increase 3-minute rounds and then add as many rounds as we can get. Keep building up. I know he wants those 10 rounds.
10 rounds. 10 rounds. That's serious.
Oh, he's gonna be ready. Yeah. He's gonna be ready.
Rico's coach breaks it down. Tyson has done something special here. He's taken Rico from kickboxing and transformed him into a boxer. The transition, flawless. And Rico's team is confident, dead serious about what's coming.
He's raising his techniques in the training. Better and better every single day. His defense, his power, his speed, his endurance. Today he put everything together, the conditioning, everything that he needs to put a great show.
Rico gets it. He knows what it means to have legends in his corner. That's gold going into his clash with Usyk. And there's something bigger here. That WBC belt, the same one Mike Tyson wore, Rico's chasing history. He's got the legend backing him. He's ready to claim what's next.
Being the best version of me and just keep challenging myself in whatever way possible on the highest level. And that's what we're gonna do, because I can become boxing world champion, because this belt, the WBC belt, has been held by Muhammad Ali, by Mike Tyson, and in a couple of months, Rico Verhoeven is gonna be added to that list.
Usyk's got his own plan locked in. He wants to replicate what AJ did to Francis Ngannou. That's the blueprint he's studying. But listen, Usyk keeps it real. He won't get caught up in the noise. His eyes stay on one thing only, training hard, getting sharper every day. Then come fight night, he answers every single test Rico throws at him.
Do you feel like you have to do what AJ did to Francis, make a statement with a win against Rico?
I don't think about Rico now. I say every time this. Now my focus is might prepare, but I will think about fight only day fight, 23 May. I prepare myself from 12 rounds, but if I have, when I have a chance, I do it. Yeah, but I not think, yeah, I'm knock him out, I'm blah, 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 blah. No. Take it easy.
Max Kellerman is breaking down what could go wrong when someone switches over from the kickboxing world into a professional boxing ring to face Oleksandr Usyk. Here's the thing. The pressure and the technical demands at this level are nothing like what you've seen before. They're completely different animals, right? The boxing ring operates on another level entirely. The speed, the combinations, the defensive adjustments, it all happens faster. Usyk doesn't give you time to breathe or figure things out. Multiple analysts are sitting in the studio saying the same thing. This could be done way quicker than people think. Some are even bold enough to say we might be looking at a finish somewhere between round 2 and round 3 before this thing gets stopped. Think about it, when you're coming from a kicking sport, your footwork transitions differently. Your angles are different. Your timing against pure boxers takes time to develop.
Obviously, they felt it wasn't in some way, right? So it's not exactly boxing. On the other hand, and this is at the highest level. He is a long-reigning, dominant champion. You fought at the highest level in the heavyweight division, Chris. What are your thoughts about this?
First of all, you can't teach size. You can't teach 6'5", 270. You can't teach that, all right? Second of all, whether it's kickboxing or boxing, he still has a pedigree of fighting. He knows what it's like to get hit. And those kicks ain't no joke. I'd rather get punched than kicked.
Right.
So he must have a good chin or a good body work. So I'm looking forward just to see what Usyk could do against a lesser opponent. He probably should end up within 2 to 3 rounds.
The thing about Usyk is, guys, he takes things seriously, right?
Max Kellerman is laying out why this matchup matters. Look, Rico brings legitimate skills to the table. The man knows how to plant his feet and exchange blows with power. That's real. But here's where it gets interesting. You're putting him opposite Oleksandr Usyk, a fighter who's already dismantled absolute monsters in this sport. Anthony Joshua dominated him. Daniel Dubois handled him convincingly. These aren't nobodies. These are legitimate heavyweights with serious credentials. So when Rico steps through those ropes, what happens? Nobody really knows for certain. That's what makes this compelling. The uncertainty is massive. Usyk has proven he can break down anyone at this weight class, but Rico's different. He's not just another opponent. The way he stands his ground and trades, that brings a different dynamic to the equation.
He's going to take a fun fight. This isn't a wrestler. He's fighting a guy that knows how to stand up. No one's suggesting that Usyk's going to lose this fight. But Usyk has effectively cleaned out the heavyweight division. You know, obviously there's a Guy Caballel there, who I'm a fan of, and Fabio Warley, but there's always going to be new guys that come around.
No, I disagree. I would phrase it differently, Shady. I wouldn't say he's cleaned out the division, but I would say this. If a guy moves up to a division, as Usyk did, as the undisputed champion, wins another undisputed, he's undisputed at heavyweight, and you beat Fury twice, Joshua twice, Dubois twice.
Right. Yep.
You are entitled to what we used to call an in-between fight, as long as you're staying active.
Yeah.
He's 38 years old, etc. So then the question becomes, in your in-between fight, is it something interesting, right? If you're gonna take a softer touch, is it something interesting? I find it just me as a human being, find it super interesting.
Max Kellerman is defending Usyk's choice to take on Rico next. Here's the reasoning behind it. Oleksandr Usyk, like Terence Crawford before him, has already written his legacy in stone. The man has nothing left to prove in terms of his place in history. So now, he gets to be selective. He gets to hunt down the opponents he wants, the challenges that intrigue him most. That's the position champions earn when they're truly elite.
Fought them top guys you talked about, not once but twice, and I think he deserves this. So get an in-between type of fight. We talked about Crawford, the things that Crawford's done, beating Canelo. Who would he fight next? And we say, hey man, you beat the hell out of Spence, you beat the hell out of Canelo, you deserve the right to get a easy payday somewhere, somehow. So I don't mind that, because we know what type of fighter he really is. I think he does this fight he wins in the first 3 rounds, whatever it may be, and then we might get a bigger fight with somebody next. But it's not wrong with this.
I just hope Verhoeven shows up though. Meaning,
he gonna show up.
I hope he shows up to fight and then he shows up to win.
Yeah,
Verhoeven fights.
That's what I really want.
He will fight. I think a prideful guy like that is gonna do his best.
The matchup is facing backlash, and there's legitimate criticism floating around, especially regarding how the WBC is handling this situation. Gareth A. Davies and Johnny Nelson are weighing in on what this means for the sport. Nelson's take is straightforward. Keep your eyes on what actually matters here. Usyk holds the undisputed heavyweight championship. That's the real story. That's where the focus needs to stay. Everything else is noise compared to that. Davies sees it differently though, and his concern is real. He's uncomfortable with Usyk's belt being risked against someone transitioning from kickboxing. Now, here's the thing. Davies absolutely respects Rico Verhoeven. The man is a legitimate kickboxing champion. That's not in question. But here's the problem Davies is highlighting. You cannot put a boxing title and a kickboxing title on the same scale. They're not equivalent. The value isn't the same.
Everybody else has got.
But it doesn't need to be for the WBC.
So they're saying, no, we're sticking with the champion. We're sticking with the champ because he's the man. And that's what they're doing. They're sticking with the man that they recognize as the best heavyweight fighter in the world.
Yeah, but don't recognise Rico Verhoeven in that same breath. Create a different belt. Create a belt that brings the champions.
There's too many belts around.
No, I mean for this one-off fight. I don't agree the WBC. I agree with the event. I agree with monumental matchmaking being made in terms of the greatest kickboxer ever against one of the greatest heavyweights.
Former ring warrior Danny Stone, someone who's traded blows with Oleksandr Usyk directly, breaks down this showdown and describes it as a compelling yet demanding challenge. He explains, dealing with Usyk inside those ropes is never simple. Add Rico into the equation, and suddenly everything gets way harder. In Stone's view, Usyk will be squaring off against a striker throwing combinations and creating openings from positions that don't fit the traditional boxing mold, more like techniques borrowed from other fighting arts. He's convinced Usyk will crack the code early, somewhere in rounds 1 through 3, then pivot to controlling the bout through relentless pressure and devastating strikes.
He's been doing easy touch, hasn't he? For a while.
Well, you thought you?
I don't want to say he's an easy touch. I think it'll be really interesting for about 6 or 7 minutes. I think 1 or 2 rounds. And then I think once he figures them out, because he's going to be an absolute nightmare to prepare for. He's going to be throwing punches from all kinds of mad angles. He's going to be doing things that he should never be doing. He'll be really awkward, really crazy for the first few rounds. And then I think he'll figure him out and then he'll punish him.
When discussing Rico's realistic path to victory, Danny Stone points out that he's not just receiving guidance from Mike Tyson, but his training sessions, numerous rounds traded with Tyson Fury, will also play a significant role on fight evening. Still, Stone remains unconvinced it shifts the result, firmly stating that Oleksandr Usyk appears destined to claim the victory decisively. According to his breakdown, Usyk will unlock Rico's defensive patterns somewhere between rounds 2 and 3, then systematize the bout completely, dismantling his timing and running the show so thoroughly that Rico struggles to anticipate incoming shots or track their trajectory.
Tony, we're talking a bit before as well that he's sparred with the Furies, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. He's been in the camp with the Furies for many years. He spars many rounds with Shibi Fury. He sparred hundreds of rounds with dozens of rounds with Tyson Fury. He's been around a long time. He's been around Peter Fury a long time. So that gives me a little bit of confidence in him as well, because Peter wouldn't take on a mess. Peter wouldn't embarrass himself with taking on a clown. So it lets you know that he can definitely fight. Or I just think Usyk's so clever and so wise. 2-3 rounds maximum, he'll have figured them out. He'll have got the timing down to a T. And I think by round 5, 6, he'll be teeing off on him. And he won't know where they're coming from. So
Bellow doubles down on reality, asserting that evidence speaks clearly. No matter how dominant a kickboxing champion Rico becomes, stepping into the boxing ring against someone of Usyk's caliber won't lead to victory. He elaborates by flipping the script, noting the reverse scenario holds equal truth. Should Usyk venture into kickboxing territory facing Rico, the outcome could prove equally brutal. In Bellow's assessment, Usyk would still decode the situation fast, whereas Rico would battle adjustment issues in a pure boxing contest. Bellow is convinced Usyk would seize command of the action inside the opening 2 rounds, establishing dominance through superior ring intellect and precise execution.
He's an amazing kickboxer. He's one of the best, you know what I mean? Listen, I think any Usyk is the best kickboxer ever, but that's up for debate. But he's a strong guy. He's got very, very good hands for a kickboxer. But listen, you're coming into our discipline, and no one is ever going to come into our discipline and beat us at it. It's like we can't go into their discipline. If this was a kickboxing match, he'd kick Oleksandr Usyk's legs off in about 2 rounds. But thankfully it's not. It's a boxing match, and I think, like I said, after that 6 or 7 minute period where he's really difficult and hard to figure out, I think then you'll see the undoing of him.
Combat sports veteran Marcus Chen believes Rico is getting dismissed too quickly and argues his physical attributes and striking force shouldn't be overlooked. Marcus Chen emphasizes he's been in the gym alongside Rico consistently and understands precisely how formidable he truly is. He stresses clearly that Rico Verhoeven absolutely possesses a legitimate shot at defeating Oleksandr Usyk, cautioning spectators and skeptics alike to avoid underrating him when entering this elite-level battle. Chen's conviction stems from first-hand knowledge of Rico's capabilities, making his perspective a stark contrast.
I mean, I think Rico's getting wrote off.
Did you come across him?
Listen, I've been training with Rico for the last 10 years, so I'm obviously pretty Rico biased. Rico's a good friend of mine. But he's a big man. He's had a lot of fights. Fair enough, they're fighting a different sport. But he can, like, if he hits him, it could be over. Do I think that Rico's a better boxer than Usyk? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that at all. But I think that he's getting wrote off, and he's definitely got a chance of winning.
Likewise, strength coach James Rivera presents a provocative viewpoint that could reshape the entire conversation, positioning Rico Verhoeven as the most formidable adversary Oleksandr Usyk has encountered throughout his career, and even forecasting he'll produce a shocking upset. Having sparred extensively with Rico, James Rivera insists he'd face virtually anyone, even mythical opponents, yet would deliberately sidestep Verhoeven entirely. He contends Rico's brute force exceeds that of Usyk, Anthony Joshua, Conor McGregor, and Alex Pereira, establishing him as a legitimate threat in this encounter. Rivera's bold declaration introduces genuine doubt into the narrative surrounding Usyk's perceived invincibility, suggesting Rico possesses the raw tools necessary to create an upset scenario nobody anticipates.
And I can honestly, hand on heart, say, if you were to give me any man on the planet to stand and fight King Kong with, right, and give me any single man on the planet, I'd pick Rico Verhoeven, because to me, he is the hardest that I have ever met. If you ask me, you put Usyk, AJ, Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, Alex Pereira, Conor McGregor, line them all up, right, and say, right, which one would you want to fight the least? Rico Verhoeven.
James Rivera hammers home that society is drastically undervaluing Rico Verhoeven and cautions that Oleksandr Usyk might face a massive jolt when action commences. He contends Rico's raw force, relentless aggression, and commanding physical dominance are being brushed aside, and argues those elements could completely reverse predictions come fight evening. In his assessment, should Usyk arrive unprepared for that magnitude of impact, the contest transforms into something far more demanding than most observers anticipate. Rivera emphasizes that Rico's ability to overwhelm opponents through sheer physicality represents a dimension Usyk may not have adequately prepared for, creating legitimate uncertainty about how the champion responds to sustained pressure and explosive striking power throughout the rounds.
He is that dangerous of a man. And with the kickboxing, and again, people just don't know this, is kickboxing is like three 3-minute rounds. The intensity is fucking insane. They are punch kick, punch kick, punch kick. They are just, they're fierce. And if Rico brings that into the boxing, I think it's going to be a big surprise for Usyk. I'm not going to say he's going to win, but I think he's going to shock the world. He's got every chance to win. And I think people are massively underestimating Rico. Massively.
Ring Magazine, this guy should be doing your promo. That was absolutely brilliant.
Per James Rivera's perspective, accomplished fighters like UFC heavyweight champion Marcus Chen would hesitate before entering kickboxing territory against Rico Verhoeven. He contends that an athlete radiating that kind of presence, stature, and overwhelming physicality transforms into a formidable obstacle for Oleksandr Usyk. According to his analysis, Rico's sheer aura carries sufficient weight to alter the entire dynamic of the bout, positioning him as an overlooked and substantial danger when the action begins. Rivera emphasizes that Rico's commanding entrance and physical intimidation factor shouldn't be dismissed, as these intangibles frequently influence how fights develop and which competitor seizes psychological momentum early in the contest.
I think Rico's going to surprise a lot of people. I think win, draw, or lose, he's going to shock the world. I think everyone's written him off.
Yeah.
I've had the privilege to spend quite a bit of time with Rico. I've trained with Rico. I've been to watch him fight, ringside. He has got to be, hand on heart, the most frightening person on the planet. And even like top fighters say that, like Tom Aspinall wouldn't fight Rico in kickboxing. That's how scary a human being he is. For Tom Aspinall to say, I wouldn't go Rico, and I could see it in his face, like genuinely meant it.
The genuine shock factor, in James Rivera's estimation, stems from Rico Verhoeven's elite pedigree in kickboxing, which he characterizes as a relentless, forward momentum-driven approach capable of swamping adversaries. He's convinced this unrelenting assault method could generate serious complications for Oleksandr Usyk should he fail to dictate rhythm from the opening bell. According to Rivera's breakdown, Rico's uninterrupted striking barrage, precision timing, and explosive physical output establish him as a credible threat capable of transforming the battle into substantially more grueling terrain than widespread expectations suggest. Rivera underscores that Rico's aggressive technical foundation, developed through years at the highest kickboxing levels, provides him tactical advantages that traditional boxing specialists might struggle recognizing until they're inside the ring facing such unconventional pressure.
100%. There's, I honestly think that Rico is going to be a big problem. Big problem for Usyk. Rico, you got to think with the kickboxing, I think, what is it, three 3-minute rounds or something?
Yep.
Yeah, and they are trained, so you got to think like that. They don't do the 12-round bollocks. Like they are trained just to give 100% for those 3 minutes. And you watch the fight ringside; it is forward, offense. They do not take breaks, and I think that's going to be a real shock.
This matchup represents a genuine collision of different combat philosophies, where raw athleticism, devastating striking, and championship pedigree converge beneath the brightest stage imaginable with Mike Tyson, intensifying Rico Verhoeven's preparation like never before while the boxing community remains utterly divided on the outcome. Genuine clarity surfaces only once they cross those ropes and permit their technique to demonstrate the reality. So, if this breakdown resonated with you, hit that like button, click subscribe to stay updated on all upcoming fight news, and share your take down below about which competitor emerges victorious. And this video is created for educational and informational purposes to keep the boxing audience updated on heavyweight championship strategies, training methodologies, and tactical analysis. We provide expert commentary and breakdown of professional boxing matchups using fair use principles with no official broadcast footage included. To make this content more unique, informative, and valuable for our viewers, we utilized AI technology for content organization and analysis compilation. All material follows YouTube community guidelines and copyright policies, designed purely as sports analysis and entertainment for the boxing community.